Hi, hello, and what's good? It's been a minute. I am so sorry, my fighting frogs. I've just been really busy with work and just kind of settling in with basically a new new phase in my life. I've been in like a transition phase. So it's been a lot. So I do apologize for the little hiatus. Just like really busy. So hopefully I'll be able to make more videos and be a lot more consistent. So I do apologize for that. I am really sorry. It's unfortunate, but it's just kind of the reality of where I'm at in my life right now. Anyways, today's video is going to be all about self-esteem. So as I discussed in the self-concept video, which was the last video, that self-esteem is one of the 3 factors or like characteristics that make up self-concept. First, I'll be discussing why like self-esteem is important. What's like, who cares? Because it's just like, I've been doing fine without it. Who cares? So I'll first be talking about why it's important. The second bit that I'll be talking about is what does healthy self-esteem look like? And then we'll get into what does negative self-esteem look like and what does too much self-esteem look like. Okay, so that's kind of how we're going to break down today's video. I may have to break it into 2 parts because I tried recording it a few days ago, almost like a week ago, and it's really long, so bear with me. Okay, so healthy self-esteem can actually affect, well, self-esteem in general affects many areas in life. It can affect motivation, it can affect your decision-making process, it can affect your overall well-being. It affects a lot. I didn't realize how much self-esteem really does affect certain aspects until I did the research, but then also when I was reflecting on my own life, and I really thought about it. When I had really negative self-esteem, life was kind of shit overall. I was kind of surrounded by shitty people. I wasn't doing good in school. Like, there was just a lot of negativity around, and like, again, my self-esteem was really low. And even coming out of that, my self-esteem was still really low. Like, for example, making these videos has been the biggest change in my life because I have been way too scared to do this. Like, I've been in school for 8+ years. I have 2 bachelors and a master's. And so I've done so much school that I do have the knowledge base and life experience to actually talk about this, but I've been too scared to do it. And I let that like basically dictate my life for years out of how afraid I was. And so it affected how I made decisions. It affected like, yeah, I'm not gonna make those videos because I'm not smart enough. I'm not gonna make those videos because I'm not good enough. So things like that. So it affected just even what I wanted to do in my life when I had the ability to, because I had all of the materials, which is just a privilege in and of itself. And so it was a lot. And so that's kind of where hopefully it kind of makes sense that self-esteem does affect multiple areas in life. All right. So when you're not doing too great, your self-esteem usually is kind of low. And then when you're doing much better, it is a little higher. But then sometimes when you're just trying to cover not being good, you can like overcompensate. So we'll get to there as well. Self-esteem also affects how good your relationships are because it affects who you let into your life and who you don't. When you have healthier self-esteem, you're able to have healthier boundaries to be like, ooh, maybe this person's not good for me. They said a joke that was like kind of weird and it's happened a few times and you're like, yeah, no. But when you have negative self-esteem, if you feel low about yourself, you're like, you may be like, oh, I can't do any better. No one's gonna like me. No other and so you kind of have almost, for lack of a better way of putting it, a lack mentality. And so that's also really important. Self-esteem does affect multiple areas in life. So just take a note of that, all right? So now what we're going to get into is what does healthy ooh, this is like Sailor Mars. I'm Sailor Mars inspired today. Hold on. I got red pants. So it's a Sailor Mars inspired outfit. But anyways, as I was saying, so I'm not really pointing, but it still feels rude, so I apologize. But yes, so first I'm going to discuss what does healthy self-esteem look like? What are the characteristics for healthy self-esteem? Okay, so the first one is having a firm understanding of your skills. So knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are great. Honing in on your strengths is kind of more like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. So I'll give myself as an example. So for example, I have this skill set of like, I'm pretty good with people, even though overall sometimes I don't like people, but I'm still really good with people, which is a gift, right? It's a really nice gift that I've kind of honed over the years. And I've built the skills for it. I've also like built the knowledge base from school. So it's a skill set that I've been able to basically communicate in the way that I do. And so again, that's kind of a gift that I have, which is like a really good skill. And so because of that, the best thing that I can do is hone in on those skills and really focus on those skills. I have weaknesses, like don't get me wrong, like there's areas where I'm trash. I'm not a math whiz. I don't know jack shit about math. I'm bad at it. That's why I have someone else do my taxes. My brother, because he is good at math and he knows how to do it because he went to school for that. That's not my expertise. And so I let the experts do it. And when it comes to playing games, I am atrocious at games. But my partner, he's really good at like Rocket League. Like I think it was Rocket League. He was one of the like top players at some point. So like, see, even then, like my brother and my boyfriend, they have different skill sets that they're really good at. And just like myself, I have skill sets that I'm really good at. My brother's also really good with like communication and whatnot, but that may also just be the unfortunate reality of having a therapist sister, because I can only imagine what it's like on the receiving end, but I digress. First characteristic is knowing your skills. So really hone in on what you're good at, because yeah, you can focus on all the negatives like, oh, I'm shit at this. Oh, I'm shit at that. Who cares? What are you good at? What do you like doing? What do you want to get better at? Because remember, it doesn't mean that you have to naturally be good at things. It also means things that you get better at. Do you think I was this good at communicating like 8 years ago? No, I was trash. I was trash. I was not good at communication. Like, I didn't know how to communicate. I had no assertiveness. I've learned assertiveness. I'll make that into like a cute little course for everyone, because like assertiveness is a great skill to have and it can be learned and honed. And so I read a book on it, and so that's kind of where I got the idea. But like, yeah, let me know, because yeah, I can do that. It'll be fun. Okay, but anyways, so really hone in on skills or talents that you want to get better at. You don't have to be good at it in the beginning. Because like I said, I wasn't good at communication to begin with. I got good at it through practice. I got good at it by failing. I got good at it by people telling me of like, you're a shitty person. And I'm like, oh shit, I might be a shitty person. And then you kind of reflect on like, okay, how was I a shitty person? How do I do better? I can't fix maybe with that person, but with the next person, I know not to do that. And it's like, all right, it's kind of a learning lesson, unfortunately. So yeah, so the first one, know your skills. Okay, so number 2 is having the ability to maintain healthy relationships with others and also yourself. All right, that's really important. So the one thing that I cannot stress enough is the relationship that you have with yourself sets the bar for relationships that you have with other people. Now you may be like, that's just word vomit. What do you mean? Just hold on. So basically, how you treat yourself sets the bar for how others treat you. So if you call yourself stupid, if you call yourself dumb, if you call yourself ugly, if you call yourself fat, whatever you call yourself, if you call yourself short, if you call yourself a four-eyed little monster geek, like whatever you call yourself, that sets the bar for how others are going to treat you. So if you treat yourself like shit, others are going to move forward and treat you like shit because they know, well, she doesn't treat herself better. He doesn't treat himself better. He doesn't treat himself like he has worth. She doesn't treat herself like she has value. And so that gives the permission for people to do that. And I'm not trying to victim blame or like blame people of like, you know, just don't do that. Like that's usually a product of your environment, of how you were raised, the relationship dynamics in your family. Like it's so much more complex. And so I'm not trying to minimize that because it's a lot deeper. I understand that. And so with that being said though, is really hone in on the relationship that you have with yourself, because when you have a better relationship with yourself, it just bleeds into other areas of your life. Like, again, I'll use myself as an example. Like, even 3 years ago, like when I had my mental health crisis, I lost so many support systems in my life. People that I called friends, people that I called family. They dropped me like I was a dead fly. Is that a saying? Whatever. But basically, they just dropped me like I was shit, because it's just like, oh, well, in their eyes, it was like, oh, she's faking. She's just doing it for attention. What? You think I want to be in a hospital for attention? I had to put my life on pause. I would have already been a psychologist by now. You think I wanted to be in a hospital and put my life on pause? No. But that happened because I had a mental health crisis, and basically that showed me people's true colors, and some people just didn't have my back. And it really showed me the type of relationships that I had with these people of just, oh, it was transactional. It wasn't a good relationship. And I had to do reflecting of, oh, how was I treating myself? Oh, I wasn't treating myself very well. I was treating myself as if, oh, I needed to prove myself that I was worthy to have people in my life. That's how I was during that time. And that's what my relationships reflected. And so that is so important because, again, that shows you how you're bringing yourself into the world and how the world is perceiving you. Because we tend to forget that just like the environment perceives just like we perceive the environment and we take in the environment also perceives us. So that's a really important thing to really think about, that like, I think it's like an interaction, because like even for a while I didn't even think about it, but just knowing that, yes, I am affected by the environment, meaning I'm affected by other people, but other people are also affected by me. So how am I affecting them? So that's something to really think about. And it's kind of like, ooh, like Inception there. But that really changed my mindset of how I bring myself into the world and how I interact with other people, because I understand that, again, my words and my actions matter, and how I treat others matters. Where I've also learned to stand up for myself, where I don't take shit from people like I used to, because you're not going to treat me like shit just because you think I'm less than you. Like, honey, it's not going to work that way. But I digress. So the third one is having realistic and appropriate expectations for yourself. To think that you're going to become a basketball player in 6 months when you just started and you're 5'1", like, that's not going to happen. Like, I don't know if you'll even make it into the NBA if you're 5'1", but you might. Like, maybe you just have, like, the jump shot of a freaking, like, pterodactyl. That's awesome. Do you. You go, Glen Coco. But you have to put in the work, right? And with putting in the work, it also means breaking down goals and tasks into doable things. Otherwise, you're going to stress yourself out and burn out, which is what I did to myself and why I wasn't recording. So you see how that it trickles down. So if you break down tasks into small doable tasks, it's much easier. And that's what I've done for myself. Of just like, Kate, I'm just going to do this now. Okay, Kate, I'm just going to do this now. Like for getting back into video recording, I started making silly little shorts and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like it's not that bad. And so then I got into it again. So it's perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's good. You know, I was able to do it. So again, having things that are realistic and appropriate, because otherwise it's going to really undermine you moving forward, because you're just going to be like, oh, I'm failing. I'm not doing, like, you're not going to see any progress. You need to still see progress. Right? You still need to see good outcomes to like feel like you're getting somewhere. So in psychology, there's these things called SMART goals. So if that's something you wanted to look into, or if you want to like go to a therapist or a coach to support you in that, to like break down goals and whatnot, try that out. That might help. But yeah, look up SMART goals and it breaks it down. So SMART is an acronym, how you break down the goal. Cool? And the fourth one is understanding your needs and having the ability to express your needs. So for the longest time, again, I'm going to use myself as an example. I didn't know what my needs were because I lived to please other people. I lived to meet the needs of other people. That's what I thought I had to do. Turns out, no. No. All right. I'm here to meet my needs. So what are my needs? So I had to learn to figure that out and really have a solid understanding of what I may be expecting from, okay, I don't want to say expecting because expectations lead to something. I forgot what it is, but anyways, you don't want to expect things from people, but you do want to have a bar or a standard of just like, hey, I am not going to be, if you don't meet this, no. Like maybe yours is you want your partner to bring you flowers every week. And that's a need that you have. That's fair. That's completely fair. And you may meet someone that's open to doing that, right? But you wouldn't know that if you hadn't really thought about it, right? To really ask yourself, what are my needs? What do I need from someone? Or just in general, what do I need from a relationship? So again, having that time to really ask yourself, what are my needs? Yeah, and how do I meet them? The next part is what are some telltale signs that you do have healthy self-esteem? Okay, so we're gonna get into that. Okay, so the first one is you avoid dwelling on negative experiences. So this doesn't mean that you're just like, damn, I wish that never happened. It's not that. It's when you spend like every day of every waking hour being like, oh my God, I wish that never happened. Oh my God, I wish that never happened. Like, for example, I went through a really shitty experience with my ex where we love revenge porn, where he posted some risque photos of me online. That's a whole other story, but for me, it took me almost a year to get through that. And that really took a hit on my self-esteem because one, I was violated. Like my trust was violated, my body was violated, like just everything. So it's not fun. But yeah, it was just a shitty experience to go through. And I've been working through that. That's also why I have been taking a little bit of a break. But yeah, it just wasn't a fun time. And to know that he had friends in on it, like men and women were in on it, like it was just, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So it just wasn't a good experience. And then having to like go through that, like it just, yeah. But again, for me, I have been ruminating on that and dwelling on that. And that did take a toll on my mental health and on my well-being and my motivation. See what I'm saying? It affected my self-esteem. And so I finally got better where I'm like, fuck it. So yeah, so you want to avoid, well, when you have healthy self-esteem, you don't really dwell on the negative experiences that you've been through. The next one is believing that you're equal to everyone else. That's so important. So if you fall into going into like the hierarchy of like, oh, I'm less than because my job title's not as great, you may have low self-esteem. Because honestly, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Like, I'm gonna die one day. I'm not gonna have, I mean, I don't, in my culture, we cremate, but on my tombstone, for example, it's not gonna say psychologist. You know, like, I mean, it could, but it's just like, that's not all I am. I'm more than what I went to school for, right? I'm more than that. I'm the experience that I had in my life, the memories that I had in my life, right? And so I'm kind of digressing, but yeah, like everyone is equal. Like just because someone has more money or power or whatever, like sure, people want to like make it seem like they deserve more respect or that they have more value, but that's not the case. Humans are inherently full of worth and full of value. So yeah, equality, okay? The next one is you have the ability to express your needs. So are you able to tell someone, hey, I need X, Y, and Z? Or are you able to tell someone, hey, I don't like that? Or hey, maybe can we not, you know, make those types of jokes, please? Like, I don't like that. You know, things like that. Next one is feel confident. Like, for example, I feel good. I'm able to crack jokes. I'm like, I cut my own hair today. I feel fresh. I feel good. Na 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 na. Right? So like I'm able to act like a little goofball, and because that's part of who I am. And I don't feel weird doing it. Okay? So I'm confident. So that's also something that's really important. Are you able to authentically be yourself? The next one is have a positive outlook on life. So for myself, I do. I have a really positive trajectory for myself. Hopefully. Will it happen? I don't know. I don't know the fucking future. We're going into a recession. Who the fuck knows? I may be jobless and like more broke, but I have my family and I love my family and I have my amazing best friend and like, you know, some other friends as well. And so like, I'm okay. I'll be okay. You know, I mean, hopefully we still need to work and make money, but you know, like even if things do get really stressful, it's like I have those people in my life that really keep me grounded and like I don't need anything else. So it's like, it's lovely. So yeah, so it's like I have a positive outlook on life where like I don't feel envious or like jealous, where like if I see someone doing better than me, I'm like, oh, like I deserve that, they don't deserve that. No, 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 no. I could give a shit. Like, cause like you don't know what's going on like behind the scenes. Like you just don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Like with how all those TikTokers were like, oh yeah, like I lied about getting this ass through working out. I actually got a BBL, or I didn't actually eat all the food with like some mukbangers. That's why I'm like, I'm really genuinely happy I'm in this place in my life where I'm making videos now, because like I am at that point, which is nice. Positive outlook. Good. The next one is being able to say no when you want to. Saying no can be really difficult and really scary. I know for myself, like I get nervous sometimes to like say no to people because I'm like, I don't know how they're going to react. I'm a little nervous, but I know I need to say no for myself because it's going past my boundary. It's just like I'm taking on way too much, whatever. So the last one is being able to see your strengths and your weaknesses and accept them, right? Accept that you're not good at math, and that's okay. You're not going to be a math whiz. I'm sorry. I'm just talking to myself. I was bullied for like by my family for not being good at math. I was terrible at math, but I had an awesome junior high teacher in grade 9. I'll never forget her, Mrs. Tanya Ennis. Bro, I don't know if you remember me, but Kate Chegwin, I remember you. She stayed late after school just to help me with math, and I somehow got honors in math. Thanks to her support. And so, like, again, math is my weakness, and I had to put a lot of energy into doing math. Can I do basic math? Yeah. Am I going to be able to do trigonometry still? Probably not. But again, I don't need that skill, right? That's not the skill set I need. Mine's communication. Mine's 90% nonverbal. Mine's reading people. Like, oh shit, they just rolled their eyes. They got a little bit of contempt going on. Oh shit, they just really heavy sighed. They're frustrated. Oh shit. So that's kind of like, that's where my strengths lie, right? My strengths lie in like, ooh, those people don't like each other. I wonder why. Spill the tea. But yeah, so having healthy self-esteem, it gets shit done, and you're just able to move about the world in such a better way. And it's just like, you feel better, things are better, and it's just nicer. But please know that when it comes to self-esteem, it's going to be a roller coaster, all right? It's going to come in waves. Maybe not a roller coaster. It's going to come in waves. There's going to be some days where it's really high, and there's going to be times when it's really low. And that's okay. Self-esteem isn't some like static thing that just is supposed to stay constant. No, it changes over time, and there's nothing wrong with that because you're growing as a human. Well, I hope you are. So I'm gonna cut it for this just because this is getting really long. Let me know if you want longer form videos, but for right now, I'm just gonna keep it at like max 20-25 minutes, if that. So yeah, so I'm gonna break it into 2 parts. So I'm sorry about that, but next one. So thank you so much for your time. Let me know if you have questions, thoughts, maybe your own experiences of growth, because those are always really helpful and supportive. Yeah, until the next one. Cheers. Bye.